You're watching Newsline 14, live on Topper Station.
Of Newsline 14. I'm Annalise Murphy.
And I'm Sean McClurg. Let's see what's happening in national and local news.
President Biden pushes for Russia to be kicked out of G20. G20 is a group made of 20 nations that continuously work together to address major issues that impact the global economy. President Biden has put forth the notion that Russia will be expelled from this group, which would further cripple Russia's already devastated economy. According to President Biden, whether or not Russia remains in this group is up to the rest of the G20 members. Independent assessments estimate that last year's economic gains made in Russia will evaporate in this year alone, and Russian inflation will spike by 15%. The sanctions being levied against Russia are now cutting off nearly all potential sources of growth, including cutting-edge technology. Before the invasion of Ukraine, Russia had the 11th largest economy in the world. Recent reports state that Russia will be falling out of the top 20 largest economies.
A driver died Thursday morning after crashing into an alligator in the middle of the road. The Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office said it happened on County Road 672 in Lithia around 12:30 a.m. The 11-foot-long alligator was also killed. After the driver hit the alligator, the car went into a ditch and flipped. John Hopkins, the driver of the vehicle, had just started a new job and was on his way home from work. Near the entrance to the Southeast Hillsborough landfill, a driver saw the car and flipped and called 911. Hopkins' family is both shocked and heartbroken to lose their son and brother in what many are referring to as a freak accident. After sunrise, skid marks were visible where Hopkins lost control. His family says that the road was very black at night and would have been difficult to see an alligator.
Jonathan A. Wiles, a former officer for the Wheeling Police Department, was given more than a quarter-century sentence for child molestation this past week. On Monday, March 28th, Wiles appeared in court where he was found guilty of 1 count of incest and 2 counts of sexual abuse. 2 months ago during January, Wiles was indicted on 12 counts of sexual abuse after a note was found by a victim. Wiles will face an effective sentence of 25 to 55 years in prison. After serving his sentence, Wiles will remain supervised by a probation officer for no less than 20 years. He will also be required to register as a lifelong sex offender.
A 28-year-old Moundsville resident, David Garrison, is being charged with 21 counts of fraud. The Moundsville Police Department was notified that Garrison had allegedly activated his grandmother's credit card, who was hospitalized at the time. The Moundsville Police then went to the stores where Garrison had made changes to review security footage for proof. Over the span of 4 days, Garrison spent over $600 on his grandmother's card. After given the charges, Garrison posted $10,000 bond from the Northern Regional Jail.
The White House is preparing to host its annual Easter egg roll event for the first time in 2 years this spring. The event is set to take place on April 18th on the South Lawn. The Easter egg roll extravaganza has been hosted by the President and the First Lady nearly every year since 1878. With COVID-19 cases on the decline, the White House is starting to get back to a new normal by hosting more events and tours. The mask mandate has been lifted from the White House grounds. According to CDC standards, Washington, D.C.'s current COVID-19 levels are considered low. Public tours of the White House are set to resume on April 15th, while guided tours of the Capitol are available for limited groups who have registered in advance.
We'll be right back after the break with Campus News.
Find out which gallery is getting a new exhibit here on Newsline 14.
Please, not the trash. Take me along. I can be repurposed. Just give me another chance.
It takes more than one person to make a big difference, but one person can make a difference.
Welcome back to this edition of Newsline 14. I'm Annalise Murphy.
And I'm Sean McClurg. Let's see what's happening on the Hilltop.
A creative arts therapy major is challenging the stigma of victim blaming with an art exhibition. The exhibition opens in April during Sexual Violence Awareness Month and features articles of clothing as artwork. Lindsay Maynor, an intern at the Sexual Assault Help Center, thought of this project after noticing a large trend in the way clothing causes blame for the victims of assault. Maynor hosted a workshop in honor of victim blaming that gave students an outlet to share their experiences and paint items of clothing. Maynor hosted this event for people to take control of what the clothing was used against them. Selected artwork created during the workshop will be displayed in Maynor's art display called What Were They Wearing? All artwork can be viewed on April 1st in the Creative Art Therapy Studio located in the top floor of the Union. Maynor will accept submissions to the exhibition until April 18th.
Donors of West Liberty University can support programs and departments on campus in many ways. The annual Topper Day of Giving is set to take place on Wednesday, April 6th. After 5 years of hosting the donation event, the WLU Foundation is partnering with Roxby Development to sponsor the 6th year of donations. Alumni, corporations, parents, relatives, and staff can all choose an academic or athletic program to donate to. Last year's Topper Day of Giving was the largest event yet, bringing in a total of $200,000 in donations from over 800 donors. Donations raised for this year's virtual event have already reached $100,000, and the WLU Foundation hopes to exceed or meet last year's total. Donors can choose over 30 different programs that impact the campus community. Those interested in donating can visit WLUfoundation.org, make a donation over the phone, or mail checks to the WLU Foundation.
A new art exhibition is open at the Nutting Gallery. The art exhibition is entitled Polish School of Posters. The new gallery is exhibited in partnership with Jan Kochanowski University of Kielce in Poland. The exhibit opened last Wednesday and remains open until Wednesday, March 13th. The Polish School of Posters was an art movement in Poland in the 1950s through the 1980s. During this time, posters were the only medium in which artists were allowed to share their artistic freedom by the communist state. The WLU art exhibition is free and open to the public. The Nutting Gallery is located in the west wing of the Fine Arts Building and is open Monday through Thursday from 10 in the morning until 4 in the afternoon. For more information about the art exhibition, contact Professor Brian Fensel at bfensel@westliberty.edu or visit the Nutting Gallery's Facebook page.
Reporter Sadi Mahataleh has an update on WLU's Student Research Symposium. Here's what she had to say.
Hilltoppers, do you know the Recap, a student research competition, closed its submission on March 4th, right before the spring break? I am standing in the Fine Arts Building on our very own WLU campus to give you more insights about the Recap.
Recap, a student research competition, was open for submissions before the spring break for the categories of research paper, creative writing, poster, presentation, creative work, and performance. The Recap research competition is open to all WLU graduate and undergraduate students. The best part of the competition is that it is held virtually, so the students had chance to submit their work online. We have with us Gail Jesse from the Chair Committee of Recap to tell us more about the competition.
Recap is essentially the RECAP is for research, creativity, and performance. And students can submit a variety of different areas. They can submit posters, presentations, creative works, and papers. Did I mention them all? Let's see. Presentations, research papers, creative activity. Yes.
We have with us Dr. Melvin Brightwell from the Chair Committee of the Recap to tell us how Recap works and why is it important to participate.
Just because it shows them how to participate in a symposium in regards to their research. So it's a way for them to write their research through paper or express their research through a poster or present their research in a presentation, oral presentation. But we do also have a creative component to our Recap, and basically students can submit creative arts work as well, or creative performances.
If you're planning ahead to participate in Recap Competition 2023, you must visit westliberty.edu/recap to get additional information on rubrics, instructions, faculty contacts, and much more.
I'm standing in the College Hall where the award ceremony about the Recap winners will take place on Wednesday, April 20th at 3 in the afternoon. Awards will be given to the highest scoring participants in the Recap. That's your insight about the Recap competition. Good luck if you have submitted your creative work. I am Siddhi Mahathole reporting for the Topper Station on Newsline 14.
West Liberty University's annual Hughes Lecture is set to take place on Thursday, April 21st. The speaker, Dr. Jeremy C. McCool, a media personality, professor, consultant, scholar, and author from Chicago, according to Maureen Zambito, Director of Media Relations. McCool is a well-known speaker at universities and organizations. He speaks upon topics such as media influence, racial bias, hip-hop, and interpersonal communication. Dr. McCool is the perfect fit for this year's lecture, as his multidisciplinary expertise that spans writing, broadcasting, and music will appeal to both students as well as faculty whose interests lie in the many disciplines that are now housed at the new College of Liberal and Creative Arts, said Dr. Scott Hanna, WOU English professor and chair of the Hughes Lecture Committee. In previous Hughes lectures, authors and speakers such as David Sheff, who wrote Beautiful Boy, Jeanette Walls, who wrote The Glass Castle, Dr. Ralph Abernathy, confidant of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., and more have come to speak and influence our campus community. McCool will speak in the Boyle Conference Room at the ASRC beginning at 3:30 p.m. before a Q&A session and a meet and greet with students and staff.
Assistant Editor Brianna Hammond has an update on the Trumpet's next publication. Here's what she had to say.
Good afternoon. I'm Brianna Hammond, Assistant Editor of the student-run newspaper, The Trumpet. Issue 19 publishes tomorrow, and here's a preview of what you can find. Starting off the news section on page 3, West Liberty's nursing program plans to support 20 upcoming students and upgrade equipment after receiving nearly $1 million from the West Virginia Workforce Expansion Program. Check out how the nursing department plans to put this grant to use on page 3. On page 4, we report on the 6th annual Topper Day of Giving and how donors can participate in this year's event. Check out the programs eligible for donation on page 4. On page 5, we discuss the newest undergraduate financial planning degree approved for the WLU College of Business. Students in the College of Business are now eligible to sit for the CFP exam upon graduation. More about this on page 5. Ending the news section this week, a look into the Master of Science in Criminology offered by WLU and how to get involved. More about the Criminology Master's Program on page 6. The culture section begins on page 7 this week with a preview of the Hilltop Players production of Urinetown as students prepare for opening night on April 6th. More about what to expect from the hit musical on page 7. On the next page, Creative Arts Therapy senior Lindsay Maynor honors victims of sexual assault by shedding light on victim blaming in an art exhibition and workshop titled What Were They Wearing? Check out Maynor's inspiration behind this capstone project on page 8. Next up on page 9, WLU's Women of Color Initiative Mentoring Group hosts a tea party in honor of Women's History Month. More about this event on page 9. Ending the culture section, WLU's Kappa Phi sorority plans to host annual Out of the Darkness Suicide Awareness Walk on April 6th with other groups collaborating. Check out page 10 for more information. The opinion section begins on page 11 with a review of the ongoing writing workshops hosted by the Robinson Writing Center and why you should give them a try. Our last article in the opinion section covers the importance of International Transgender Day of Visibility to students on campus. Check out page 12 to hear what WLU students have to say. To catch up on all things Hilltopper sports, check out our sports section. This week's sports update starts on page 13 with a look into senior soccer player and Ireland native Claire Kelly's impressive athletic career. Next up on page 14, the softball team advances to 15-9 after their conference victory against Institute. More about the softball season on page 14. On page 15, we cover the acro and tumbling team and their recent loss to 10th best team in the nation, Fairmont State. Stay tuned as the acro and tumbling team prepare to face Frostburg State on April 2nd. Ending the sports section this week, women's tennis advance in the season with 6-2 after 2 wins in previous matches against Wesleyan and Mercyhurst University. That concludes the Trumpet's updates for this week. To read the Trumpet, issue 19, visit thetrumpetwlu.org. See you next Wednesday for more updates. I'm Brianna Hammond, reporting for Newsline 14 on Topper Station.
We'll be right back after this break.
Coming up next is West Lib Sports Update. Find out which team is among the national best on Newsline 14.
About school or work? Not wanting to adult today? Then pet a cat. Petting a cat has proven to reduce stress, calm the nerves, and allow you to relax, even in the face of ultimate peril. In addition to petting your cat will also provide you adorable entertainment for your pleasure. They are cute, they are cuddly, sometimes bite, and please, own a cat.
Welcome back to this edition of Newsline 14. I'm Anya Ritz.
And I'm Lady Lynch. Let's see what's happening on the Hilltop in sports.
West Liberty suffered a loss against West Virginia State last Friday during a doubleheader. In the early meetings for Mountain East Conference teams, the Hilltoppers, who have won 10 games in a row, lost the first game in a doubleheader with a score of 2-1. The second game was a complete turnaround as West Liberty beat West Virginia State 11-10. During the second game, West Virginia State quickly received a 4-run lead, and when the fifth inning came around, they remained in the lead with a score of 9-7. As the Hilltoppers hit many single runs, the score climbed to 10-9 with the Hilltoppers in the lead. With the outstanding 16 hits in the game, the Hilltoppers won the game in the final inning. The Hilltoppers will play again on April 2nd at Frostburg State at 1.
West Liberty's acro and tumbling team suffered their first loss in the Mountain East Conference against Fairmont State. Last Sunday, the Hilltoppers competed at home against the unbeaten Fairmont State. All 6 events were close to the score, but Fairmont took the victory in each event. The opening compulsory event was won by just 0.05 of a point. In the Pyramid Head, West Liberty opened the event with a 9-point lead, only to have Fairmont match their score. The lead became more significant as the Hilltoppers saw a major deduction in the open head of the toss event, which allowed Fairmont to take the lead by almost 10 points. Fairmont also won all 6 heats of the tumbling event, allowing them to win the event by 16 points. West Liberty will play again on Sunday against Frostburg State to clinch the number 2 spot in the Mountain East Conference.
The women's tennis team remains perfect in Mountain East Conference play after shutting out Fairmont State 7-0 on the indoor courts at Wheeling Park. The Hilltoppers, now with 7 wins on the season, 3 of which from the conference play from the opening serve, earned the doubles points with a 3-0 sweep. The number 1 doubles, Emma Arnold and Evelina Martirosen, took a 6-3 win as the number 2 and 3 doubles took victories with scores of 6-1. The team then swept all 6 single matches against the Mountain East rivals. Gemma Cliff had a comeback victory while freshman Emma Arnold battled through a tiebreaker in the first set to a 6-3 victory in the second to lock up their singles victories. The Lady Toppers face out-of-conference opponent Indiana University of Pennsylvania on Saturday at noon.
Hilltopper wrestling is among the national best. The Hilltopper wrestling team has 3 wrestlers in the top of the most dominant category. The most dominant category ranks wrestlers based on how many team points they score per match. Colea ranked 3rd nationally with 4.26 points per match, followed by Francesca Borsellino, ranked 8th with 3.82, and finally, Ty McGreary was 11th with 3.65. Leia also tied for 10th nationally with 5 tech falls, and Borsellino was tied for 5th in wins by fall with 10 pins. Thanks to these stats from the wrestlers, the Hilltoppers were able to win the MEC Conference Championship and the Super Region 3 Championship for the 2nd year straight. The Hilltoppers also earned 3rd place at the Division II NCAA Championships. After a successful season this year, the Hilltoppers will look to continue to rise the ranks.
The NASCAR Cup Series traveled to Austin, Texas for the Echo Park Automotive Grand Prix this past Sunday for the 6th race of the season, as well as the first road course of the season. In dramatic fashion, A.J. Allmendinger made up a 2-second deficit in the final lap to catch up to Ross Chastain, bumping him out of first place in the process. Chastain retaliated in the final turns, bumping Allmendinger back into 3rd place, Carr Bowman and spinning him out. Ross Chastain would then cross the line to take the checkered flag for the first time in his career, as well as the first win for his team, Trackhouse Racing. The NASCAR Cup Series moves up north for the Toyota Owners 400 at Richmond Raceway in Richmond, Virginia on Fox.
Star wide receiver Tyreek Hill has been traded to the Miami Dolphins. The Kansas City Chiefs drafted Hill in the 5th round of the 2016 NFL Draft. Since then, Hill has become a top-tier wideout in the NFL thanks to his speed. The Chiefs had tried to work on a new deal with Hill, but were unable to get it done. The Chiefs allowed Hill to seek a trade with the Miami Dolphins. The Chiefs traded Hill to the Dolphins and in return received a 2022 first-round pick, 2022 second-round pick, 2 fourth-round picks, and a 2023 sixth-round pick. Hill then signed a 4-year, $120 million extension with the Dolphins. Hill is getting $72 million fully guaranteed. The contract makes the highest paid wideout in the NFL.
We'll be right back after this break.
Your campus and national weather updates are coming up next, here on Newsline 14.
The Paul N. Elbin Library is your destination for learning. Featuring over 200,000 items in print, audio, and video formats. Students have access to search for books of all kinds. Our state-of-the-art egg chairs give the user an immersive experience. We offer both Macs and Dells for your convenience. Please be sure to follow all signs. Our hours are Monday through Thursday 8 to 11, Fridays 8 to 4, Saturdays are closed, Sundays 5 to 11. Our friendly staff will assist in finding the right study material for you, whether it's a physical copy or on the school's database. The Paul N. Elbin Library at West Liberty University. Please call 304-336-8261.
Welcome back to Newsline 14. I am Siddhi Mahatole and this is the weather update. After starting the week off with snow and freezing temperatures, Mother Nature decided to give us summer-like temperatures. We are looking at a high of 72 degrees and a low of 60 degrees. The sun is trying to shine but still hidden behind the clouds. We have winds south or southeast at 10 to 20 miles per hour. As the sun sets, we will see mostly cloudy skies with winds gusting up to 30 miles per hour with a chance of rain at 40%. Moving here to the map, out in Los Angeles, California, they are at a nice 67 degrees. Taking a journey in the Rockies in Colorado, they are cool at 50 degrees. Headed back down in south into Texas, the Texans are experiencing the summer weather where it is 84 degrees and sunny. Up in the north, in flyover state of Missouri, they are residing at carrying their umbrellas as it is 64 degrees and rainy. In sunshine, New York City has gotten the memo of warm weather as it is 47 degrees and partly cloudy. The Ohio Valley is sitting at 72 degrees and partly cloudy. We'll be right back. The 5-day forecast is coming up next.
Sources of stress are everywhere. Stress can make you feel trapped, but there are ways to manage it. Stress is inevitable, but you can learn how to deal with it, how to handle it, and how to respond to it well. Try to get enough sleep, exercise, eat well, get emotional support, breathe, and find ways to calm down.
Welcome back to Newsline 14. I am Siddhi Mahatole with the 5-day forecast. The warmer weather will stay with us on Thursday with a high of 68 degrees but a low of 36 degrees. Winds will gust up to 30 miles per hour with a chance of rain Thursday night. Moving on to Friday, Mother Nature decided to tease us. We are looking at a high of 43 degrees and a low of 29 at night, with snow showers during the day. The winds getting up to 25 miles per hour will definitely make it colder, so make sure to bundle up and stay warm. During Saturday, it will be 55 degrees with sunshine early on and some more clouds moving in, a low of 38 degrees and cloudy during Saturday night. Sunday will be a high of 52 degrees and cloudy with winds gusting up to 15 miles per hour and a low of 35 and cloudy during the night. Monday will start the day cloudy, but they will clear out and let the sun shine during the day. reaching a high of 52 degrees and getting down to a low of 39 degrees.
Thanks for that weather update, City, and thank you for watching this edition of Newsline 14. I'm Annalise Murphy.
And I'm Sean McClurg. Don't forget to tune in again next Wednesday at 2 p.m. and have a great week.